The largest voting stations for expats abroad has opened its doors in London this morning. About 24,000 expatriates are registered to cast their ballots there. This is about 30% of 78,000 South Africans expected to vote across 111 countries, missions around the world. Let's get an update on how things are going from our UK correspondent, and that's Olly Barratt. Olly, good afternoon. Thanks very much for joining us. How has it been in London?
Very remarkable. The polls opened here at 7 o'clock local time, and around 5 a.m. local time, people were already queuing here. I'm told by the Deputy High Commissioner that they are processing over 800 voters an hour, so getting through at quite a lick in that sense, in one sense. And that means that we've probably seen around about 5,000 people voting already. But as you can see, there are many, many, many more thousand South Africans here waiting to cast their vote. I've just spoken to some people at the front of the queue, just about to go in and cast their vote. And they say they've been queuing for about 3.5 hours to get to that point. But at the back of the queue at the moment, they're being told, people who join the back of the queue, that it could be 5 or 6 hours before people there get the chance to vote. So there is a real party atmosphere here, but there is also a sense in which people are hunkering down for the long haul. This is a long wait because so many people have turned out to cast their ballots.
Any sense from them, Olly, as to what's really driving them to stand in queues for hours to cast their votes?
You ask people why they're here and why they want to travel distances to get here and spend so long in the queue, and they all say the same thing. They say it's their duty to vote. They want to vote for their country, and they want to take part in South Africa's elections. Of course, there are lots of issues at play in the election, and different voters have different priorities when it comes to those issues. But as I say, the message that people continue to give you is that they just want to be here to cast their vote and take part in what is an important election for the country. And it is a huge operation that's underway here. As I say, processing 800 voters or so an hour is no easy task. I'm told that by the Deputy Commissioner that they have over 70 official pay. That means that it is by some distance the biggest voting station in the South African election, not just abroad, but in South Africa as well. As you were saying, nearly 25,000 people registered to cast their votes today and tomorrow here in London. Back in 2019, it was much lower than that. It was around 11,000 people who registered, and the turnout ended up being something around 63, 64%. Officials here believe that this time around, it'll be a higher proportion of a much higher number.
Any sense from the officials, Olly, as to whether, they are managing the situation well, given the fact that it seems to have exceeded everyone's expectations?
The Deputy High Commissioner, when I spoke to her recently, was happy with how things were going. She thinks things are working smoothly and efficiently. But she did say that they have been trying to warn people not to come too early because you've got 2 days to vote and they should be able to get everyone through. That didn't stop people turning up early, and therefore the queues did build very early indeed. It's just a vast number of people to process in what is quite a small space when you get inside the South African High Commission. So there's no doubt it's a major challenge, but spirits are pretty high in the queue, aren't they? Yes, she's nodding. Nonetheless, people have brought snacks, they've brought drinks, there's cheering, there are dogs that have been brought along. There are lots of people with their South African flags, of course, and lots of Springbok jerseys very visible too. So spirits are pretty high despite the long wait.